This is me on my Dora David Vlogs. Today I'm actually in my small field where I'm doing my lettuces. Actually, I'm not going to be waiting today because I've done it this morning. And besides this, we have gotten some serious rainfall. So you can see a little bit of evidence that the rain had fell and it had given us some very good showers. So what I want to say today is actually, do you want to go from zero to hero in farming? I'm gonna give you one of the best tips, one of the best crops to grow if you want to go from zero to hero in farming. Okay, I would recommend you do lettuce if you want to go from zero to hero, pak choys, also cucumbers. These are like the fastest growing crops, and I'm talking about short crops. You can grow in a matter of weeks, 6 weeks time, to actually gain some really good profits. So today what I'm going to be giving you guys is a little bit of tips. I have my old piece of cutlass with me today. That's what I use to actually do my little pruning up, and I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to be pruning today. It's actually a day that I had to give you guys a little bit of guideline to how I does it and why I does it the way I does it. Also, I'm going to be experiencing some rain a little later again because the sky down to the east coast is a little bit blurry. I had seen the rain since yesterday, but yeah, just fell. And I don't really depend on the rain because I got my water system set up. I even got the river right there. So the river is right there. So before I used to toot the water, I used to drug the water to wet them, but now instead of I going to the river is actually coming to me. So I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna be molding that stuff up. So if you want to do farming on a reel, if you want to actually go big in farming, if you want to like earn some money and you got some land, the land doesn't have to be big, okay? You can just take what you have and make it do. You can build those standing beds like what I did. Just get a galvanized. Even if you don't got galvanized and you got long container ship stuff that's at least 2 feet, 2 feet here, 2 feet deep, and it got enough space to hold mold, you can actually grow lettuce in the stuff. If you want to build boxes, like get the boards and build boxes, it's what you want to do. If you got a ground and it's good, it's flat enough and you got water and stuff like that, from zero to hero, I will recommend you go with lettuce. It's a very easy growing crops. It has less attention in the late stage of it, but in the early stage of it you're gonna have to actually start putting in more work. um, but it's really easy to grow, because what I'm gonna say is actually, if you have your pen manuals, which is good, or even if you got like the fall manuals, wherever you know persons grow things like the chickens, like boilers or layers, you can use the dung from there and actually filter it into the bed. If you don't want to use the boilers one because it's a little bit grumpy, and you want to use the fine coarse one, which is the layers one, that, you know, coarse heat, it's got the heat but you gotta have the water. So if you want to use this one, it's not a problem, but the only thing I can say is that you're going to have to give it watering regularly because it's a very hot manual. And also, if you're doing drip lines, then forget that, you're off. So what I'm going to be doing today is going to give you guys the little tip. So what I do, I actually send my cutlass down, and so if you can hear the knocking, what I usually does is I want to get down as deep as possible. You don't want to go too close there, you don't want to juke any roots, but you just want to make some holes for um, air, okay? That encourages the lettuce to grow because the soil is not bind. Even when you actually like juking it up like what I'm doing here now, you can actually see like the lettuce, you can see the potential of the lettuce, okay? So if you watch here, you're gonna see they look a little bit lie down, okay? But when you actually come with that mold, okay, so I'm gonna mold that row right here, okay? When you actually come with that mold and then you take a look at the lettuce, it's actually looking way better than when it was flat. So you can see the difference from here. You can see like encouragement for that lettuce to grow. It makes you feel happy. And even if you when you watch here, it looks like, yeah, they're looking good, but you know. So I actually tend, it's not for the looking good sake, it's actually more for the sake of getting good production, right? And on top of that, what I really want to say also is that even if you're growing lettuce, don't try to grow lettuce that you have to put like 2 lettuce per bag. That's why I actually recommend the molding so often, because the more you mold, the more the roots get removed. If you're using fertilizers, like as I told you, the manure from the falls, or even if you got goats and sheep and cow, whatever animal you may got, the manure is really good, so you can actually use it, okay? But my problem here is I haven't given these any manure. So what I'm doing, I'm actually trying to grow them off water. And the reason why I actually did it like this is because there are persons who may not have the funds to buy the manure, because usually if you go into somebody that's doing the fowl or the eggs or the chicken, you will actually have to buy that manure. And it's not really much in my country, it's like $2, $3 a bag. I actually go get some bags, but I want to grow it so first to show persons that I haven't put any manure in this, and I've given them the continuous water. Wetting them like every morning and every afternoon, but I'm not wetting them like one wet. I'm not wetting them like how farmers wet them. Farmers actually just pass the water until they see the plants shoot back up, and then they leave and go until the next morning, and then they just give it a little damp. No, I don't water my plants like this, especially lettuce. If I'm doing pak choy, I give it the same procedure, but I don't actually water it too much in the big stage. But for the lettuce, it can take the water right through, and you just don't gotta make it get hard on you. And that's why I'm actually juking up the bed, because that's one factor for making the lettuce get hard before time and start getting bitter. So you don't want to get your lettuce bitter. So you actually, so as you can see, all this is done into the soil. That's actually for spacing, rooting, molding. So as you can see, the lettuce is looking even more different than when I actually was showing them before. Okay, so as I can feel compactness into that bed, what caused the compactness is actually the sun. Okay, the sun went after the rainfall, because we're experiencing some really heavy rainfall. Not actually the rainfall alone, it comes actually with the watering, the way you water it, whatsoever method you use to water it, that also causes the soil to pack back together. But you don't want that, because you want your lettuce growing. Okay, so just look at the bed right now. You can see actually a big difference, the way the lettuce open themselves. From here is not yet been plowed. So if you watch here, it looks like yes, I'm growing good, everything is okay, but to a farmer perspective on that part of the crop, you may say it looks reddish. Okay, because why? The soil, the roots, that's create the root rot and all that stuff, because the roots are not getting place to move, it's not getting air under there. Okay, that's why the tent, if you're doing it like this, your bore holes underneath the bed so that the little air can come through. But that alone is not enough, so that's why you have to alter and come back and give it a little crypt up. Don't be scared, people. Farming is not actually an easy job, but it's just a job that you, if you're taking care of your family, like for most fathers and mothers, if you're a caring person, you're going to care for the garden, and the garden is just like a child. So you got to actually be there for them. There's like plants, they're living. Okay, they just can't talk, they just can't walk and eat food and stuff like that, but we know they consume their little water whenever necessary, and actually the fertilizer shows you a difference. Okay, so as I said, if you take care of the plant is going to look the way you do. So one recommendation I would say, don't sit down and go to YouTube and go through YouTube and actually watch persons who actually keep their farm looking good and keep their farm looking bright, and you got a farm and you're not even doing it. So my point is, if you watching the 2 videos, that's not a problem. Okay, it's not a problem to do so. You can watch the 2 videos, you can get a little more pointers to how you do things, but don't sit and watch persons things and want to do it like them when you're not even putting in the extra work. So that's why it's always difficult for farmers, and that's why, like, when you're selling at your price, persons may like say your price is too high or whatever the case may be. But the reason why the price is so high is because you have to spend a real time here, and vegetables are like on the go. Lettuce are like on the go. In my country here, lettuce is like every Sunday you have lettuce to sell, it will sell because persons used to cook the time on Sunday or Saturday. If you're selling lettuce around that time, that's like the weekend off. So persons take these days to actually eat a proper diet, but because during the week it's like 8 to 4, 8 to 12, 8 to 1. You got kids, you got all these little necessary things to do. So it's kind of hard for you as a parent. But on a Sundays where you can relax, wash your clothes, and actually prepare for the Monday work. And some persons start even since Saturday, some persons start even since Friday evening, and Sunday is just a day to, wave off, take a stroll, and even if you get a holiday, it's worse. So besides this, you can take a good turn here because it's actually good. So as I said, at least try your best not to juke the plants, okay? I'm doing this for some time now, so I can just like run through this, but because I got some beginners who's going to be watching this video and may want to actually try doing lettuce, it's a very nice thing, okay? It's not hard, it's just the watering. Besides this, if you're doing work and you're doing your kitchen garden, I'm gonna try and do a video where I can show you guys how you can budget yourself between your work and your kitchen garden, because I do the nursery and persons buy my plants, and the main reason for their plants dying is because they're working, okay? And the work they're doing is like 8 to 4 jobs, and sometimes the plant need attention because you buy the plant at a seedling stage, you don't have it under a shade net, so it's into the open sun. And being into the open sun, it's like stressing because you come from work, sometimes you're tired and you cannot even get to see after that little kitchen garden that you got because you have people job to do, okay? And it takes time, and maybe the time you finish, it's night, you can't actually see to come and do the stuff. So even the holes that you're seeing, you can just take your cutlass and just whatever you're using. It must be a cutlass, it can be like a knife, it can be a piece of bamboo, it can be something strong that can just penetrate through the earth and break up the soil. So don't leave these big spaces because when the outside is dry, it exposes the root too fast. So you can just crimp up back that, make sure it's slick a little possible. Any extra soil around the up to the choking of the plant, you can remove a few. But you don't want all the roots to just gather there. You want the roots to spread and give you a good crop. Okay, this crop here is looking okay so fine so far. And this is another bed. Before I go down to this bed, I'm gonna continue doing on this bed here. So again, another recommendation, off the ground beds are really a better structure because why? It helps with less weeding, okay? The weeding is not that great. I can tell you, since I've planted this, I haven't weeded until I think yesterday. I did a 2 pulling off with 1 or 2 trees I see were coming up like weeds. But normally, since I'm doing it, I didn't have to weed like when I have them on the ground, because on the ground it's where everything grows. So on the bed it's actually reliable in that state, in case if you're going to work. As I said, growing lettuce on beds are really good for you. You don't have to pay attention too much with weeding, and even if you have to weed, it's just like 5 minutes or 10 minutes time, and actually you can keep around it clean, okay, because they're off the ground. You don't have to worry much. Even for animals that comes in and actually try to take up that space and destroy your crops and stuff like that, and sometimes the sacrifice you put out, and you see that stuff in the way it is, it's not really easy to bear. So that's one of my factors for not actually having it on the ground. Even certain persons too don't love the lettuce on the ground, they love it off the ground because animals, I'm not going to say that they're dumb, but actually they don't have the understanding we have when it comes to this. So if you is an understanding person, you're going to take precautions and you're going to try your best to do some raised beds. If you have a fenced area and you can grow them to the grounds, it's no problem. So this is, so as you can see, this bed is like actually, you can say 6 centimeters full of soil. I tried my best to actually get the soil as much as on top of the bed so that I don't fail in the end when my roots start penetrating. And even again, you can try considering that you can look at your shade. Okay, your shade causes your lettuces to grow tops. This is a romaine, it's not actually a folding lettuce. Normally folding lettuce I plant. This is actually what trend in our country here. Persons love the folding lettuce. But what I'm saying is actually you want to find a good location. If you want to do a standing bed or a raised bed, howsoever name you want to call it, you're going to have to get a good location. And the good location I'm talking about is not for business wise, it's for your plants, because it actually need the sunlight sometimes. Yes, they love the water. Where there is hot sun, you can water that plant as much as you like. Okay, you can give it enough water. As I said, if you're actually using the pen manual, it's not a problem, but you have to make sure that you got good water. If you're actually using your tap water, you're gonna have to actually think about your bills. So that means you can be using, like, you're growing over 128, because that's the full tree cost of planting it on a bed, and actually you're using so much of tap water to actually get that, and you're eating that stuff. If you have it, okay, if you're doing another job, a side job, and you have it, it's good, but I'm not going to recommend anybody to waste such a money, because actually if you're just eating it, then thing, but if you're selling it to make a little money to help pay back that bill, it's okay. So farming is actually just budgeting. If you don't got space, like if you don't got a river like I do, actually lucky, maybe lucky, fortunate, I don't know, but if you don't got a river close to you, you can actually use the tap waters, but you're gonna have to manage. And I won't do a video. I'm just gonna tell you guys what I used to do when I used to jog my water before I get my pipes. I'll set it up. What I used to do is actually I used to get a mulch. I hope everyone has a backyard that has some lawn grass in it. After you cut that grass, instead of that grass just going to waste and sit or burn, you can take it and put it on to the top of the beds. It's not a really good practice for lettuce, but in the case that you don't have water and you're using tap water and the bill is really high when it comes to your water bill, I would recommend, if you know anybody that have a lawn yard, you can actually take the extra grass that has been cut off, and you can just take your time and put it in between of the lettuce, raise up the leaves like this and pack it nice. That's gonna help the sun from actually taking off the water from the bed quickly. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna stop. This is a very good mulch, but actually it creates a lot of insects that can actually come and start damaging. Even root rots can come, because some of the grasses, according to the way they break down and decompose, it carries bacteria. Even sometimes you gotta go spending other money, but that's for only persons who actually is doing lettuce on a in a dry place where the water is not that great. So if you're listening very well, I think you can hear that noise, and it's actually the river. Well, I guess as much as you can see some stones right now, and you can see, I think, a little bit of water. Normally the guys clean that river. Actually, I never had been a part of it because I was younger, but normally that was my trend. Since I'm living close to the river, I tell the guys that we need to come together and actually clean that place up, trim those trees, and see if we can keep the river looking okay, because that's where we live. You know, when we need to wash, before I got machine and stuff like this, washing machine, we used to hit the river, and also when water goes, we hit the river. So it's actually beneficial to us. So even in case that you don't got a river but you got a stream, you can clean it up, you know, take off from the currents where the water come down, any old stuff, you can actually move all that stuff, because if you're doing farming and you need that water to supply your plants, then you need to treat that water good. So that's what they're doing right there. I'm just actually not lucky to meet them the day they were doing it, because I would have actually put a hand, because I love to see the river clean. And it's actually nice when you're from all the way up there and you can watch all the way back down, straight down to the bridge, and you can see everyone that's passing. It's not a mind that you're looking at anybody or marking anybody. It's just that it looks really great to see that the river is clean and the environment is looking okay, and everybody can feel safe to be here. So that's a good thing. Okay, so back to my molding, which is really exciting. I don't so actually, as I said, these have not got manual. So as you can see, here is actually too close. See, you can see that lettuces actually grow in little bits of soil. It's okay, but it's not okay for me, because actually the soil matters, right? Because I got them on standing beds, so the soil had to actually be up to mark. But if you notice this lettuce here, it's a little bit red. If you watch the leaf here, it starts turning. That's one sign, indication to told you that you need to actually step up on soil, or you need to actually start breaking the soil. Okay, even in the case that you're doing for sale, you want to start a farming business and you're looking to farming and you find it's hard, and you want to start like a farm with a crop that you're not actually know or make up your mind which crop you want to start with, I will recommend you start with lettuce or pumpkins. If you got good market for it, start with it. Okay, don't do crops like cabbages and stuff like that as a newly farmer. I think you're gonna have real not losses, but you're gonna have a hard time, because these are the crops that stay longer and need many more attention and plenty of water, even fertilizing, and actually you need to spray for whatsoever insect may harming you, because these are like inside leaves that's actually full to create the cabbages, a pile of young leaves that come together. So if I'm paying attention to my lettuce bed and I'm hearing what I'm hearing here, then this tells me that this bed has lost some soil. So when I'm ripping this stuff off to actually do my second step, that's one thing I have in mind already that I have to do, and I have to ensure that I actually do it. Okay, it's not something that you can play with. Even if you have a vehicle and the shocks is bad, you can run it still. It's just the shocks that bad. Okay, it's not safe to do so, but that's just a vehicle. You can wait a month and then change it. But with farming, whenever the plant need what it need, you gotta actually cough it up, because if you want good production, if you want one head of lettuce to grow a pound, if you want your crops to be looking great so that when person see that they can admire it, then it calls for the work. Okay, and that's where you start actually understanding the whole purpose of farming when you farm yourself. So farming is not a hard thing, it's not a bad thing, it's a really nice mind relaxing job. Whether you do it as a job or you just do it for your home use, it keeps you calm. Imagine like you're a parent from all the struggling from the day, and you come to your garden to weed or mold or whatsoever it is. It's just you and your garden, and that's just it. You feel relaxed, you feel, happy, less persons talking into your head. It's just you and your plants, and you're just doing what you need to do and looking for the little necessary things that need to be done. And when you see what you need to do and you actually accomplish the job, and when you look back at the job you do and you find it satisfying to your eyes, that makes you feel even more better. So I'm gonna be heading out. So I've showed you guys what I'm doing with the lettuces. I promised you guys this video, so I actually do it out. I'm gonna struggle through the rest of this for myself, and I'm gonna just pass around to my other lettuces and see what needs to be done. and how soon I have to do it, because I don't want my work pile up on me. Because as I said, I'm starting a business doing food with my mom, and I think I'm gonna have to make a separate channel for this. So I'm gonna actually use more my face so that you guys see the channel that I'm gonna be posting my videos with my mom while we're doing the food business. I'm gonna actually tell you guys what are the pros and cons, like advantages and disadvantages that we are facing, if we had faced any. So as I said, I think I did a few shots and another video where we were doing it. I haven't showed the person the place as yet, but actually it's a perfect place. The location is very good. That's the whole thing about business. If you're doing food, restaurant, you want to do a bar, you want to do any business that's actually gonna bring customers every day to you, you want to get a ideal spot. Okay, you want to go to the town. If you're into the country and you're on the main road where actually all the action is, you're good to go. The persons that are gonna see you every day who haven't tried, like today, is gonna say, okay, I'm gonna give it a try tomorrow. And even if I have tasted and my friends actually had tasted, if you got a good friend, they're gonna say, boy, I know there is someone that sells this stuff there and it tastes really good, I think you should try it. So they're gonna head you down right there. And what make it really even better is that there is actually a bar next to what we were doing. So even if we are not showing customers, we are actually showing customers, because you can't come to the bar and drink for the whole day. You're gonna get hungry and you're gonna have something to eat, and that's where we doing that food right there. So I'm gonna be making other posts from this same channel also, and I'm gonna leave my link when I'm starting the other channel with the food business. So for persons who's actually following me here and would actually like to see or know or actually understand a little bit more of food businesses, I'm gonna leave the link into that channel description under one of my videos, and I'm gonna make it clear that in the first starting of my video that the link is there, so you can check it out. You can subscribe to the new channel, and I'm gonna take it from there. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and also subscribe. And if you find this video helpful, you can actually comment, okay? And under the comments, you can tell me what you think. If you want to start a business right away with lettuces, by the way, you see how I do mines, and you've got a really good plot and everything, and you want a little pointers, I'm gonna be here. I'm not a pro, but I love farming. I give it my best. That's why I actually always come and give my crops some time. And even as you can see, I don't use my good slippers for the garden. It's more like pieces of slippers that we use to actually come to the garden. So you don't want to use most of your good resources in the earth, okay? Because that's a waste of money, and your dedication you're spending with your plants to earn that money, you need to think about that also. So thank you all for watching. I'm gonna be heading out right now.